Welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and I have had Revan now for 24 hours, a little bit over, and I wanted to talk a little bit about teams and team variants because there's a lot of videos out there with a lot of different team variants, and there is actually different teams for different purposes. Now, the base core of the team that I'm going to suggest is going to be Jedi Knight Revan as the leader, Grandmaster Yoda as the damage dealer, Bastila Shan for support, and General Kenobi as a tank, but his mass attack works really well with Jedi Knight Revan's leadership ability. And then for that fifth slot, I have seen people use Old Ben, Jolee Bindo, Hermit Yoda, Ezra Bridger, Aayla Secura. The list goes on. It really makes a ton of these. I have even seen people use Kanan Jarrus in that fifth slot. Now, I am going to say that if you are going against a Traya team, you want to have increased damage output to get through the team faster and to be more effective on defense. So versus Traya, you are going to use Ezra Bridger in that fifth slot, if it's a possibility. Having his Zeta does help him get more turn meter and damage, and so he's going to be more effective. Ezra Bridger does really good about bringing the damage output of the team overall higher, and he brings a dispel, and when you're dealing with double tanks, double taunts, it's one of those things you can use. Now, when we're talking about Hermit Yoda and Jolee Bindo, they both serve a purpose, and that is the heal. And when you're going against high DPS Rebels or you're going against Nightsisters, you're going to want a high heal capability. Now, Jolee Bindo is going to actually be the best if you have his Zeta. Now, I don't have his Zeta, but if you do, he'll revive any defeated Jedi ally at 80% health with critical hit with crit immunity for 5 turns. That's really good because if you were to lose 2 characters to Rebels or Nightsisters, you could use this one ability, bringing them both back at health with that crit immunity. So very, very effective. I see a lot of high-end teams running Jolee Bindo, and I think it's probably going to be the best for that fifth slot when going against a wide variety of meta. Also, he has this, you do it. Another target ally assists, and then you heal that ally for 30% of his max health. And this is another call to assist, keeping in mind they regenerate protection under him when he does that. Now, if you don't have Jolee Bindo maxed out with a Zeta, a great substitution is Hermit Yoda. Hermit Yoda brings, with Master's Training, the ability to stack extra attacks, as well as a really great heal. On his basic, it recovers 10% health and protection, 5% protection, and then they gain turn meter. So it speeds the team up and regenerates this, helping to dispel the plague and getting rid of that. Also, strength flows from the Force. Even if they have healing immunity, you can use this because it works around, because health equalizing effects ignore healing immunity because it's an equalization. Then all allies will recover 20% health and 20% protection if you've got that Zeta, and Jedi allies gain Foresight. This is another way to add Foresight to the team, not just with some of the others. So this team, and I only have Jedi Knight Revan leadership ability so far, and for the Zetas, it would be his leadership, then hero, then direct focus. Those are the priorities, and I'm about to do hero next, and then I'm going to do direct focus. Once I have those 3, then I am going to move over to Jolee Bindo. Surprisingly, didn't ever think this would happen, and I'll move over to That Looks Pretty Bad and add this and replace my Hermit Yoda with Jolee Bindo, because not only does he heal, but he also brings them back from the dead, which Jedi Knight Revan does as well one time. So really cool. I'm going to go in and fight a Rebels team. This is the most overpowered Rebels team I have ever fought in my life, and he does phenomenal. He's nearly 120,000 GP because of all of the Zetas on the team. And then I'm going to show just a couple of other teams with me just going through on full auto with this team with Hermit Yoda in it. Lastly, I want to show you guys how I mod my characters. So currently using Hermit Yoda, and I've got speed on him. That's basically the highest priority. I've got him up to 277. Grandmaster Yoda has speed and crit chance, and I have his speed over to about 275. with his critical damage at 186 and his special damage, which is what he does, almost to 5,000. Now with Revan, I was going to go with offense and crit chance, but unfortunately with that, I couldn't get high enough speeds to compete with Thrawns in my leaderboard. And so I had to go with speed. So my very fastest speed set in the game that used to be on Nest, I have moved over to Jedi Knight Revan, and he does have a little quite a bit of health. He's got 45,000 health. That's really a focus as well, since he does so much healing. And then, of course, his speed is really high. His critical damage is high because I'm using 6-dot mods. And then his special damage is around 4,600, which is okay. I did have it over 5,600, so it took a bit of a hit, but he still does a lot of damage nonetheless, and I think speed in arena is the most important thing for him, specifically so he can do his direct focus, even without Zeta, his direct focus, and that you can take out whichever character is most important to take out. Bastila is speed mods, and I do have her at about 116 speed, and that's about it. There's really not a lot of focus on damage. Her damage is special damage is actually pretty low. If you happen to use Ezra instead of as your 5th slot instead of Hermit Yoda, I did crit damage and crit chance with a focus on speed and of course the critical damage and chance. And of course, General Kenobi, I've got a ton of tenacity on him, but I've got his health over 30,000, his protection over 80,000, almost 100 speed on him, and his tenacity is well over 100%. This really helps since he's going to take a lot of hits to try to prevent any of the debuffing that is going to go on. I was also able to get his damage well over 3,000, which is really good for him, and he doesn't do a ton of damage, but when buffed up by Grandmaster Yoda, he'll actually do a decent amount. Now you may wonder, what does my leaderboard look like? It's been a little while since I've actually shown it. And what's really cool is we actually have a couple of Rebel teams in the top 5. We have Sith, of course, Traya. You've got me. You've got another Rebel team. You've got some more Traya. You got Emperor Palpatine's with the Triumvirate. We have one more of the Jedi Knight Revan. And then we have a lot of Trayas. There's more Rebels with some more Emperor Palpatine lead. And we even have a Rex lead still chilling around, climbing every day to the top spot. But you can see the vast majority still reflects the Sith meta, but Rebels are pretty popular. Now, we do have some Nightsisters and even a Bastila lead near the end, and we even have a Revan that has climbed into the top 40, and his Revan is only gear 10, and another Bastila at 43. And then you see lots of Bastilas climbing into the top 50 every single day, and we even have by a side who goes into the top 10 who has a JTR still. So my leaderboard is actually pretty diverse. All right, so to the right, Corran Horn. He has got, obviously, all 3 Zetas on CLS, on R2-D2, Old Ben, Han Solo, and Chewie. This guy is stacked, phenomenal mods, and he gets to shoot first. And so, by the way, Han Solo is the singular best counter to Jedi Knight Revan, just so you know. Second would be Thrawn. Fracturing him just puts him kind of out of commission. So let's go ahead and battle it out. Okay, like I said, I don't have Jolie Bindo Zeta, so I am using Revan with Bastila, General Kenobi, and both of the Yodas, Grandmaster Yoda and Hermit Yoda, for the heals. Now, he gets to shoot first, and he hit Revan, and that is definitely an issue because it sets me up potentially for failure when he targets that character. Now, Old Ben is going to inevitably taunt, and he's going to end up boosting everybody. And we could go for some other people, but I'm going to go ahead and start working on that protection of Old Ben. All right, and they already killed him, and he came back to life. That was Savior. So let's go ahead and start working on the character we can get to. There's the taunt I expected. And let's go ahead and just work on this old Ben. And we'll give Grandmaster Yoda all those buffs. We'll steal their buffs. And like I said, this is going to be a bit of a problem. Let's go ahead and come over to Chewbacca, and let's get rid of him really quick. He is definitely a problem for my team. Let's get a heal going. And we're stealthed, so we don't have to worry about the counter. Let's get rid of Chewbacca. We can move now over, and let's kill old Ben. It does boost their team, but that's all right. They were all pretty high already. And let's go ahead and heal. That was excellent. I don't know if you saw the damage on that saber throw, but let's go ahead and go for R2-D2. And by the way, I used a basic, something you should do anytime you have a cleanse capable is you should use that cleanse that Revan provides because it gives you a natural counter automatically. Let's go ahead and put him on timeout. And let's get rid of R2-D2. And what I'm saying is this cleanse to the right, this ability right here, strategic advantage. There's a lot of times I haven't used it, but you should. And the reason is it always calls an assist and it cleanses. Now, you don't need the cleanse necessarily, but you can use it and call Grandmaster Yoda. And look at that. Crazy damage, even though you didn't need the cleanse. It's just an assist call. So anytime that's available, utilize it. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple other battles, Nightsisters, you know, and whatnot. remember, this is one Zeta. This guy's working great. If you don't have him, remember the event comes back in 6 months and you'll be able to add him to your roster. As always, if you have any ideas, thoughts, or comments, leave them in the comments down below. Keep your gaming on. Warrior out.